Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another show of Speedcars Down Under. Tonight, Paul is unable to join us because he is been called into work. The big crane driver that he is up there in Katherine, he gets called around a fair bit, so he can't join us tonight. But joining us tonight on the show is speed car driver, sprint car driver, kart driver, and non-winged sprint car non-winged micro Australian champion Zoe Pearce. Welcome, Zoe.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, good to be here.
Yeah, definitely.
Excellent. We love it when people love to come onto the show. How's the off-season treating you?
It's been a bit boring, to be honest.
Yep.
Just been sitting around waiting, prepping.
Yep.
My season pretty much started on the weekend though, which is good. But in 2 weeks we start our actual car racing, which is going to be hectic. The schedule's already looking pretty busy, so I'm kind of enjoying the off season a little bit while I can.
Awesome. That's the way. So, how's it feel to be an Australian champion?
Yeah, pretty good, to be honest. Going into that weekend, I was not expecting it at all. Never driven the car, never been to the track, so we pretty much just had a picture-perfect weekend. Never had anything go wrong. Won both our heats. Got second in the prelim. Locked straight into the A feature. Started third and led 49 laps of the 50, I believe. So, yeah, it feels pretty good. Feels like ages ago now. It was only June, but yeah, time goes quick. And hopefully, we can try and defend it again.
Where's the next one at, Zoe? Where we're heading for the next Australian title for that one?
That one, I'm not sure. I think that one would be back at Lake Liddell for the Power stuff.
Yeah, right. Does that always go there, does it?
I believe so.
Yeah.
The non-wing stuff, they don't really run at many tracks yet, so I believe it'd be just at Lake Liddell again.
Yeah, right. Awesome, man. So you've done a lot of driving. You race the dirt kart, you race the speed car and do quite well at them. You've had a go at a sprint car, the non-wing micro stuff. Like, when do you find time to be a girly girl?
No need to be a girly girl. I'd rather drive race cars every weekend I can.
Yeah.
And anything, anywhere, I'll be there, yeah.
Yeah, and also you've been to New Zealand, raced over there against some of the big names over there. And what's it like to race in New Zealand after racing in Australia?
Yeah, New Zealand's a whole different breed to over here. They're crazy. They're like racing in America, to be honest. They just, as soon as that green drops, they're going. So it's definitely tough competition over there. The international series is awesome because they bring a lot of the good Americans as well as some of us Australians. You know, me and Caden went last year. Yep. Caden did really good. But yeah, they're definitely tough. You can tell when they come over here as well just how good they are. You know, they're always up the front.
Yeah. And you've got a full schedule again this year in New Zealand, I see. Are you going to find time to race in Australia?
Yeah, we'll still find time to race over here, that's for sure. But we love going over there. I can't thank the Stone family enough for everything they're doing for me, as well as Charles putting this whole schedule together. I think we've got 12 scheduled in, possibly could be more. See what happens. And then doing the international series again, which is awesome. That's like 6 races in 10 days, I think.
Yeah,
and then we'll go back over there for the Easter stuff at Palmerston. That was really good. I believe that's 3 days in a row of racing. And it's just getting more laps at different tracks with different competitors, different car. As I said, they're really good over there. So when we come back from racing there, we always come back a little bit better.
Yeah. And do you find it difficult changing cars from car to car? Because every different team sets their cars up different, don't they, to what you're used to?
Yeah, it's also working with a different crew chief every time. You know, I'm mainly used to working with Dad, but going to a different team, different people, the equipment's always different. I've never been in a team's car that's the exact same as ours. So just getting used to how that car handles. The motors are different. Working with a different team, as I said, you know, you've really got to have a bond with your crew chief. I think that's a big part. And, I've got to trust them and you got to have your confidence.
Yeah, awesome. And you've definitely got plenty of that. I remember when I caught up with you at the Australian title this year, first time I met you, and I could definitely tell it was very, very confident there. So how does Dad go? Like, you're third generation, I've been told. So how does Dad go? Does Dad get a bit worried sometimes, or does he just chill back and just let things go?
I'm not sure if he gets worried. I'm sure with some of the big crashes I've probably had him scared a few times, that's for sure. But I think he's pretty much used to it now. You know, being a third generation racer, racing's all we do. It's pretty much, we live and breathe it. We don't know anything else. So I think, especially mum, you know, she's grown up with her dad. So she's used to all the sides of the racing. So she's not very worried at all. And I think they know I'm capable enough to not do any stupid moves. And, you know, these things, they can bite hard and, you know, they got a lot of horsepower, but I don't think they're too worried about what I'm doing. It's more the other drivers or, yeah, I don't think they'd be too worried. Dad's more just about winning races.
Yeah. And why open wheel? Why did we ever start, go to open wheel? I mean, a lot of people would think, well, sedan racing, but you decided to go open wheel. Why was that?
I don't know. I guess my whole family's pretty much all just been midget racing and a bit of sprint cars. So I think, you know, midgets put on great racing. We just love the open wheel categories, I guess you could say. I don't know. No one's really ran sedans in our family. I think my pop, Ian Lewis, he started in sedans, but yeah, never stuck with it.
And does living up to big expectations, like with Ian Lewis, your pop, and your dad, they were great racers as well. Does that make you strive to be a harder racer than what they were, or?
Not necessarily. You know, obviously, I would like to win a lot more than what they have.
Yeah.
But I don't really worry about it too much. You know, I think it's more of a privilege to have the name, and I like being able to relate to them. And you know, people come up and say, "Oh, you're so and so's granddaughter," or you know, Andy's your dad. You know, I think it's just nice to have a connection, and the whole family's involved. You know, it's a family sport. We all do it together. I think if we didn't have racing, we wouldn't be as close as what we are.
Yeah, righto. And car package. What car package do you run, Zoe? At home.
This
What
season.
do you run at home?
Pardon?
What do you run at home?
So yeah, our family team. So this one here was last season's car. That's a S14 Spike with a GRD.
Yep.
And then this season we're upgrading to a new Spike chassis thanks to Brian from Cardwell's Bosses and Coaches. And I believe a new engine package as well, and possibly changing shocks.
Yeah, awesome. And what are we looking at? The PSW series and of course the Australian title this year for the Speedcars?
So I'll be in New Zealand for the international series while PSW's on, so I'll miss that again, unfortunately. But that's a great series. I hope it gets a lot of support. You know, Squizzy, Dad, and Lee are putting a lot of effort into that, so I hope they get the support that they deserve. And then Aussie title definitely on the cards. Being in our home state, that's going to be a really good one, especially with the Vic title the week before. I hope it gets a lot of support. You know, I'd love to see 50 midgets at Simpson. That would be awesome. That track is definitely hands down, I think, a lot of people's favourite. It puts on a show for the midgets for sure. So I hope that gets a lot of support as well.
And you like Simpson?
Love it. I'd say it's always been my favourite track, but since I travel a lot more now, I've seen a lot more tracks, but I think Simpson still sits number one.
Yeah, cool. And big news, of course, here a few weeks back, off to the Chili Bowl.
Yeah, that got announced not long ago. That was a bit of a surprise, to be honest, but yeah, that's going to be awesome. That's going to be a pretty hectic week. Looking forward to that in January. That whole January schedule is actually going to be really crazy, so I think I'm going to need a bit of sleep after that. But yeah, Chili Bowl is going to be awesome in Shannon's car again, the same car I ran last time I was in America. I just can't thank Shannon and Tina enough and everyone involved in making that happen. It's going to be an exciting week for sure. I've never been, so it'll be good.
And do you find it hard being I'm not a sexist person. I reckon males and females are on the same level, you know. But do you find it hard being a girl in a male dominant sport?
Not really. I've never copped anything bad to make me really think about it. You know, I think because I've been racing so long, I'm kind of just used to it now. I put the helmet on. I'm the exact same. I've never copped anything, so I wouldn't say I look at it any different.
Yeah, cool. And where did we grow up, Zoe?
In Victoria. I'm in Romsey. Yeah, started racing when I was 5 years old, so always been racing all my life.
So where did we start? In karts originally, I presume?
I started in quarter midgets, and then they've got 3 different divisions. So I started in novice, and then went to 120cc, and then finished in 160cc. And then once I turned 12, I moved to junior Formula 500s and did that from 12 to 16. And then as soon as I turned 16, I got the opportunity to run a speed car and haven't looked back since.
Yeah, righto. Yeah, you've definitely drove a few different cars. And what's your favourite? Which one's your favourite of all of the cars you've drove?
That's a tricky one. I think the favourite package I've had is probably Shannon's car in America, the SR11 with a bullet by spike. Yeah. That was definitely, yeah, we had a lot of success over there. So I think I always felt comfortable in that car. It probably helped that I had Janky Bobby as my crew chief. But yeah, that was a great little tour we had there.
Awesome. And what's it like working with the Americans? Like, do they make you feel as comfy at home as what it is being at home, or is it just a strict schedule and that's what you got to stick to?
Yeah, you know, you're there for business, you're there to race, but you're also there to have fun. And when I was over there, I lived with Michelle Decker and Shannon was there, and you know, they made me feel like one of them. They were awesome. I was, you know, having dinner with the families and everything. I pretty much felt like I lived there for 2 months. I was definitely part of the family. Yep. And then, yeah, met some awesome people as well, like Janky Bobby and Tina. So we've made some great connections and can't wait to go back over there in January and see them all again for sure.
Awesome. So that'll be their winter, won't it? Our summer's their winter, isn't it?
Yeah, it'll be freezing. It'll be snowing outside the Expo Centre for sure.
That'll be different snow outside racing on dirt track on the inside.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Have you ever been to Chile? Have you ever seen Chile Bowl? Have you seen the track? Have you walked around it or anything?
No, I've never been to Chile Bowl. This will be my first time there, so I think that makes it a little bit extra special.
Yeah. And a lot of cars are going to be there, of course, heaps more than what we've got over here. Like, I think it's a week event, and I think I watched it once, and they started at an N main, I think it was.
Oh, they go back to like an O or something. Yeah, something crazy.
It's crazy the amount of mains on the last night, and then they get up to the C, and then it's 2 Cs, 2 Bs, and then into the A's. I think like it's just crazy how many cars there is that's going to be there. What would you sing at a karaoke party, Zoe?
That's a hard one.
Just a few different questions now.
Yeah. At a karaoke, I have no idea. You could give me almost any song and I think I could sing it. I know a lot of songs, I reckon. Yeah, right. Nothing really comes to mind though than what I would pick.
Yeah. Cool. Does pineapple belong on pizza?
Yeah, I'm a big Hawaiian lover. That's all I order, so pineapple's definitely a yes.
Yeah. And are you involved in any other sports apart from motorsport, or you know, what do you do in your spare time when you're not playing around with race cars?
I don't really get a lot of spare time, but I like that. I'd rather play with race cars all day, to be honest. That can take 100% of my time. But no, I don't play any other sports. I used to play netball. I got a bit too short for it, though, so I wasn't as good as a player. And then in the off-season, we go and watch my brother play football on a Sunday, so that's enough for me, I reckon.
Yep. And do you follow AFL?
Yep, I follow AFL. I go for Western Bulldogs.
Oh, you just missed out. That was devastated. I wanted to see him get in.
Yeah, it wasn't our year. We'll go again next year, I guess. It was pretty upsetting, though.
Yeah. If money wasn't an option, Zoe, what would you do?
I'd probably be the... Pardon?
Still doing what you're doing now?
Yeah, just a bigger operation. Yep. Wouldn't have to rely on sponsors that way or mum and dad's money. I could just get 4 midgets in here, the best equipment for sure. I'll be Keith Coons of Australia.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, and your dad, he's pretty full on old bloke. Like he's a nice bloke to talk to, and you talk to you, and you've got completely different ways of the way you look at things, if you know what I mean. Like he's more outgoing sort of person than what I expected. What with you, if you know what I mean.
I think. I don't know, me and Dad, we get on like a house on fire. You know, he's my mum and Dad are my best friends. I think it's because we race together. We have that special connection. Mum always says that I stole Dad away from her because as soon as he got me, all we do is talk about racing. I'm just his little racing buddy. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe because we are opposites, maybe we get along even better.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing. V8 Supercars or Formula 1, Zoe?
Probably Formula 1.
Yep.
I don't really follow either of them, but we went to the Grand Prix this year? Yeah, this year. They're crazy. Just seeing as well the amount of fitness and everything that they have to do for that. That's a crazy sport.
And Oscar got a win again last night, I think it was.
Oh, that's good. I didn't see that.
Yeah,
that's good.
He got a win, and Lando ended up blowing his motor up, so that's increased his points lead, I think. So, who was your biggest hero growing up, Zoe?
I think like any other kid, growing up watching your dad race, you always think dad's the hero, so you're always gonna love your dad racing and think he's the best. But I think when I really started to, love Speedway was probably when we went to America in 2017. First time I'd really seen a girl midget driver, Holly Shelton. She was racing for Keith Coons. And ever since I seen her at Belleville, I fell in love with watching her. And, she pretty much became my favourite driver just because it was the only girl I'd ever seen run good as well in a midget, keeping up with running a USAC schedule. That's insane. So I'd probably say Holly Shelton.
Yep, cool. And do you do anything to keep yourself fit, or you just jump in the car and go racing, or is it a big fitness program you have to keep yourself up to? Because you do a lot of racing, like it'd have to take a toll on the body.
Yeah, being a girl, it's definitely different because I don't have that masculine body. I'm very small as well. I'm only like 5 foot or 5'1", so I can't store as much energy as these boys. So I have to, definitely be on top of my fitness for sure. I lift 3 times a week and run for the endurance side of stuff. I definitely have to keep up with that. I've lost a lot of races because I was unfit, so I pretty much bring that 100% now.
Yep. So plans for next season, apart from New Zealand, what are we doing in Australia, Zoe?
In Australia, so I'll be running obviously our family team car with mum and dad own the V15.
Yep.
And then I'll also be doing a few selected shows in my Pops Midget, which is this one here, with the Sesco Mopar. That's all. And then I've just bought that non-wing micro that I ran at Liddell. I actually bought the roller, so I'll be running that every weekend I can in between the midget stuff, and that's pretty much all I've got scheduled in Australia so far.
You're gonna be jet lag major, like New Zealand, America, Australia, unbelievable.
It's not a bad problem to have, I don't reckon.
It's not a bad problem to have. There's a lot of people out there that would love to be in your shoes at the moment, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So Zoe, just out of interest, a lot of people don't really actually know how old you are. How old are you nowadays, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 19. I turned 19 July.
Yeah, right, and already pretty successful at what you do. So that's a big achievement to you and your family and the whole team. Congratulations on what you've done so far. If I look here, I think it is what was last season. I've got it wrote down here somewhere. Where is it? 2 wins, 5 podiums, 7 heat wins, 2 highest qualifiers, and only 8 DNFs. That's not bad.
Only 8 DNFs. That's not very
good. That's not bad. How many times did you race though?
I think we ended up clocking up 31 races. Definitely didn't win as many as we'd like to, or podium as much, so we'll definitely be striving a lot harder for next year, that's for sure.
You got some big names to race against over here though, Caden Brown, Nick Parker, that's just to name a couple. They are really on the ball drivers, that's for sure. You've got to really be on it to keep up with them boys, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. They set the bar high, and you definitely strive to be like them. I think I think he's the best in Australia that we have, especially seeing him over in New Zealand. He was giving it to Buddy Kofoid and Logan Seavey and Michael Pickens, Brad Most. They're some of the best in the world. It's great to see that Australia has some really good races coming through, and it's good to see that he can mix with some of the best in the world.
Hopefully we get some Americans back over here with the Australian title this year. That'd be really good. Seeing as we had none there last year.
Yeah, definitely. I thought it was also good we didn't, though, because then at least we keep the Australia one in Australia and you actually see it for the year.
Yeah. And it was a good race. That's the first time I'd ever been to an Australian title with Speedcars and seen that many at one venue, and I just walked away there with my mouth wide open. It just blew me out. The racing on the fence was just absolutely crazy. And how do you go with that, Zoe? How do you go about... I spoke to Rory Jackamus last week in an interview with him, and I asked him the same question I'm going to ask you. How do you go not hitting anyone out there?
I'm not sure. You just don't hit him.
Does it come naturally, or is it just a talent you've got to learn over time?
Racecraft, that definitely comes with laps. I think that's why I'm always chasing the laps, because every lap you're getting better. You definitely, you get a lot more knowledge. The more you're in the car and the more you're mixing it with some of the best. That's also why we go to these bigger shows. I think a lot of people, especially last year, going to Perth for that Australian title, I think a lot of people looked at us like, why are you going? But once I came back after driving with all those great races, I was running top 3 in the SA title or something, because I just came back with that much knowledge and experience and laps. So I think it all works together.
Yeah. And what would you rather, Zoe, a banked track or a flatter sort of track?
Banked for sure.
Yeah. Is that because of the speed or?
Yeah, you can build momentum. You can throw some big sliders on there. I think I'm more comfortable on a banked track because it's going to hold you. Where a flat track, it's a bit hairy sometimes.
Yeah, cool. Do you have any fears? Any fears out there at all or are you pretty bulletproof?
No fears in a race car. Yeah. Probably fears of little silly things. Yeah. Just your usual spiders, heights, all that sort of stuff.
I'm with you. I don't like heights. Definitely don't like them at all. And that's hard for my job too, because I'm up in a cherry picker a lot of the time with cameras, which is not good. It's not good at all. Before we go, Zoe, and is there any people, sponsors, and everything else you'd like to thank out there before you go?
Yeah, obviously my whole family, Mum, Dad and Zach, they follow me everywhere I go. They're definitely my biggest supporters. And of course all my sponsors, I couldn't do it without them. They're pretty much everything behind me is all them. So Cardwell's Buses and Coaches, EMC Trailers, Chalex Homes, Wide Open Clothing, Luke's All Products, Pearce Steering Wheels, Hodge Farming, Revolution Race Gear, Bell Helmets, Gonzo Mufflers, Weldworks, DGSF Steel Fabrication, Pico's Photos, and Speed Vision Tariffs.
Are you looking at something there, or did you reel them off? Because that was pretty good effort.
I had a bit of help.
That's the way, Zoe. Well, thanks for joining us tonight, Zoe. Wish you all the best in America and New Zealand. And honestly, get over there and give them hell, won't you?
Yeah, I'll give it 110%, that's for sure. Thank you for having me on.
We've got your dad coming on in the next couple of episodes too, I think. I think Paul's lined up an episode with him. We was hoping to have both his on tonight, but he had other commitments going on, and he thought we'd just get you on. Sorry, it probably hasn't been the best interview with Paul not being here. I'm not up to Speedcar stuff as much as what he is yet, but I'm getting there. Thanks for joining us. Hope everything goes well for this year, and we'll talk soon during the season.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.